Triumph has taken things up a notch by creating a race version of its new Daytona 660. While other manufacturers have developed race-ready versions of their street bikes, Triumph's approach stands out. All the race components needed to transform the Daytona 660 into a precision track machine are publicly available through Triumph's website or its project partner, PHR Performance. This means enthusiasts can purchase, configure, and build their own factory race bike or track day machine, or have it professionally built to their specifications. I was eager to experience what a fully race-prepped Daytona 660 Triple would be like. On the street, it's a well-balanced, lively middleweight sport bike, perfect for newer riders willing to trade top-tier components and advanced electronics for an affordable price tag under $10,000. Add a carefully curated selection of track-specific upgrades, and it feels destined to become something truly remarkable. So when the opportunity arose to race a Daytona 660 in the fiercely competitive Pirelli National Sport Bike Championship at Cadwell Park in the UK, I didn't hesitate. This support series for the British Superbike BSB Championship was created to give young talent a chance to shine in front of BSB teams. The racing is intense in Cadwell Park, a picturesque and challenging circuit known for its rolling countryside, wooded sections, and a heart-stopping jump. Offers one of the toughest tests in Europe. Joining mid-season without any practice wasn't exactly ideal, but the chance to race in front of 50,000 fans was impossible to resist. The middleweight sport bike market has undergone a significant shift in recent years. Manufacturers have moved away from high-strung, 125-plus horsepower supersport machines, instead focusing on bikes that appeal to younger, less experienced riders and those seeking a fun, responsive, and approachable sport bike without venturing into extreme territory. Models like the Yamaha YZF R7, Kawasaki Ninja 650, Honda Hornet 750, Aprilia RS 660, and now the new Ford 2024 Triumph Daytona 660 exemplify this trend. These affordable, versatile sport bikes have flooded the market, sparking the creation of race series designed to showcase both the potential of these machines and emerging riding talent. The Pirelli National Sport Bike Championship is one such series, akin to the Twins Cup in Moto America, providing a proving ground for both riders and bikes. These bikes resonate deeply with younger riders, and the series' popularity has soared over the British summer. Plans are already in place to launch similar championships in the Italian CIV and German IDM series in 2025, further cementing this category's importance in the racing world. Partnering with Macadam Triumph Racing, we joined forces with the experienced Macadam Triumph Racing team, hoping their expertise would steer us through what promised to be an exhilarating challenge. Racing at Cadwell Park. The holding area at Cadwell Park is a hive of nervous energy. Most of the competitors are teenagers, some as young as 16, while a few seasoned racers like Richard Cooper, a two-time national Superstock champion, Northwest 200 winner, and Daytona top 5 finisher, add a layer of intensity to the field. Another standout is Italian rider Edoardo Colombi, the reigning 2023 Italian Aprilia RS 660 trophy champion. This race was shaping up to be as thrilling as it was fast-paced. My weapon of choice was a Triumph Daytona 660, meticulously prepped by Macadam Triumph Racing. The tension was palpable, amplified by the classic British weather, rain. We opted for full Metzeler wet tires and adjusted the Batubo race kit suspension for a softer setup to improve surface feedback. A gentler throttle map and reduced engine braking were also activated to help manage the tricky conditions. While this Daytona 660 began its life as a stock road bike, the addition of PHR Performance's factory race parts transformed it into a fully adjustable race machine. With customizable throttle maps and engine braking settings, both adjustable on the fly, this bike was ready to meet the demands of Cadwell Park's legendary twists, turns, and challenging conditions. The first few laps of FP1 are predictably tentative. I first rode Cadwell Park back in 1997, before most of the other riders were born, so I know where I'm going. But I need to get used to both the new bike and the sheer intensity of the elbows-out attack dogs with whom I'm sharing the track. By lap 2, I feel at home and have the now fully adjustable pegs on their lowest setting and the clip-on race bars set nice and wide. The Batubo steering damper feels a little stiff, but otherwise the combination of the fork kit up front and new rear shock gives a great feel. Enough for me to push. While the chassis is heavily kit, the Daytona 660S inline triple is still in standard form, albeit with revised fueling to compensate for the full Acropovic race exhaust system. Quoted peak power is 97 horsepower, and we have a slightly restricted throttle to make all the bikes on the grid theoretically equal. In the softer wet riding mode, the delivery is lovely. The 660 is flexible, torquey, and quick, but not scary quick, giving me time to think about the track and the conditions. By the end of the very wet 30-minute session, I'm enjoying myself, and we end up 10th fastest. Back in the pits, we check the data against my feedback and compare it to my teammates. Suspension movement and throttle position are the focus, but there's so much revealing data available, it almost feels like cheating. We're not using enough suspension travel, so we decided to fit a slightly softer spring for FP2. Again, it's wet but not biblical rain like before, and we go faster, but so does everyone else, and we're down to 14th position. Day 2 and the BSB crowds are building in now perfect dry conditions. The paddock is a cauldron of color and noise. Qualifying is 30 minutes and will decide the grid positions for the big race, just before the main BSB race. The pressure is on. We've obviously thrown in a dry suspension setting, and the 660 is now on grippy Pirelli race rubber. This is going to be fast. I immediately feel at home on the Daytona. It's easy and forgiving. You don't have to be at the top of the revs screaming at like an inline-4 600 Supersport. Instead, the torque builds strongly from as low as 4,000 RPM, and peak torque arrives at around 7,000 RPM. My bike drives smoothly from 7,000 RPM toward the rev limiter. All I have to do is nudge the quick shifter when the shift lights illuminate. The infamous and dangerous mountain section is all in one gear, third, which makes life much easier. The front wheel still lifts over the mountain, but it's controlled. At the end of the start/finish straight, the bike is virtually flat in 5th gear. In park straight, which isn't a straight, more of a long arcing curve, is the same or sometimes near flat in 6th. For a small bike, it's also accommodating and easy to get tucked in, and because it's not scary fast like a 200 horsepower superbike, I have time to plan and pick a brake marker. In other words, it's fun to ride. The pace builds. That intensity around me grows. In the wet, I was mid-pack and passing a few riders, but in the dry, the fearless youngsters are handing it to me. They are overtaking safely, but their aggression, lean angle, and determination are way beyond anything I can muster. It's impressive to witness up close, but I'm at the back. After a quick pit stop to check the times and drink some,